welcome back to our third episode of King's Vegetarian Food Manufacturing Company Limited website cooking show. Today we're going to be doing an appetizer platter. Everybody always has an opportunity. At some point in time, friends are coming over, it's a seasonal thing, it's Christmas, or maybe you want to entertain a new house you've bought. So we thought we'd put together a nice menu of different things that we offer in our company and make a wonderful pass-around appetizer platter. So I'm going to show you some of the ingredients we're going to be using. We're going to do 6 different items. So here we've got fried vegan squid rings, made basically from potato starch and soy, and it's a cornmeal breading. So we're going to pan fry that. We have Malaysian satay, which is a vegan soy satay, and it's got a flavor of the sweet and spicy of Malaysian, a little chilies and brown sugar malt. Here we've got a traditional favorite for everybody, soya nuggets. Okay, here we've got vegetarian bacon. This one is not vegan, it's vegetarian. Yeah, the flavor is really good. Taking out all of the milk products kind of takes the flavor out, so we kept it vegetarian. This one we're going to wrap around baby potatoes. Here we've got vegetarian meatballs. We're going to do a nice Italian dish, including with this here pasta. And we're also going to make a tzatziki sauce to go with our calamari. So what we're going to wind up with is a nice assorted appetizer platter. So I'm really looking forward to showing you this one. So the first thing we're going to do right now, we're going to make our tzatziki sauce, and we're going to use that for our calamari. So I'm going to get myself a bowl here. So we're going to get a nice deep bowl here. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to shred our cucumber. So we're going to keep the skin on. We want the color. How you shred it depends on how easy it is to eat. I find shredding it on the larger one is a little easier to eat, less stringy. We've tried to do it on the smaller one, but we did find it was quite stringy. Leave the seeds and all, because you want a bit of the moisture. If you take all the moisture out, it's going to be quite a heavy. The profile you're going to develop is going to be pretty amazing. So there we have a shredded cucumber. We want all the moisture and everything in there. So you can definitely see it's got a good texture. You can see the moisture from the seeds and everything. That's great. Okay. So now we're going to add lemon. So I'm going to grab a lemon off my table here. Got myself a handy little juicer here. And it's got the nice little divots here so we don't lose any seeds into the sauce. So we need about 1 lemon. So we're just going to squeeze it out. We've got our lemon juice. Just be careful not to get the seeds in there. Perfect. Okay, so what I've got here is about a tablespoon of fresh chopped dill. So we're going to add that. Okay. Now, I've got myself yogurt. I'm trying Greek yogurt for the first time. Most people traditionally make this with a regular yogurt, but what I find is by making it with a regular yogurt, it tends to be really light and thin. So I'm going to try making it with the Greek yogurt today. See what the difference is. It's really heavy. And this one is no gelatin. It's definitely vegetarian. So we need about a cup of this. So we're going to put about half of this in. So you can see tzatziki sauce is very easy to make. No difficulty here whatsoever. There we go. Now maybe we put a little more than half, but that's okay. Okay, so now we've got that in. Cracked pepper. I've got some black peppercorns here. I'm going to show you a little trick about how to crack pepper if you don't have a pepper grinder. Just put them on your cutting board. Pepper peppercorn is basically based on how much you love pepper. So, get yourself a nice heavy base frying pan and just crush it onto your cutting board here. This is the easiest way to do it. You get the most amount of leverage. Lift it up every now and then, see what you haven't crushed yet. Yeah. You're going to want to use cracked pepper because it has a much more profound taste than anything ground, and it's got that fresh peppery taste as opposed to the packaged taste that you get once it's been put into a container. So here I've got about a half a teaspoon. There we go. And we're using no salt again. So we're going to want to put about a half a teaspoon of no salt in there. It's got no sodium, so it's pretty healthy for you. Okay, let's give it a stir. So now you got these nice pieces everywhere. That's really good. I really like that. So we're gonna let that sit for a little bit. Just gonna put this over here, out of the way a little bit. Okay, so let that sit about a half an hour. Give it a chance to develop some good flavor. While we're waiting for that, we are gonna make a satay sauce. So what I've got here is a base of a Malaysian satay sauce. This is basically palm sugar, peanuts, curry, and a little curry paste, all vegan. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to warm it up and then add some coconut milk to it. When you go to use your coconut milk, I strongly recommend choose your brand carefully, because you don't want to get a coconut milk that's so full of oil. Not all coconut milks, unfortunately, are created equally. You'll find many of them have a very oily texture. So the amount I've got here is probably about 2, maybe 3 tablespoons of the base that I created. And this peanut Malaysian base, you can get this in different stores. Usually it can come in a jar, and you just add coconut milk to it, like a base only. And you can flavor it as you want. You want it spicier, you want it sweeter, thicker, thinner. But I definitely recommend adding the coconut milk to it to give it a nice, good, rich flavor. So I've got here probably an average of about, say 2 ounces of coconut milk is what I've added here. And then we're just gonna give it a bit of a stir. Then we're gonna turn it off and put it to the side a little bit, because we don't need it right away. We just wanted to get it ready for later. Then we can just reheat it. So, how to make my bacon wrapped potatoes. So all I did is I went out and I bought these little baby potatoes. They're a mix of kind of purple and red. They've already been pre-boiled in the pot. I didn't cut them or anything. I just basically washed them and boiled them, lightly salted. They're still a little bit soft, but they're not fully 100% cooked. I'll say they're about 80%. And this is a perfect size potato, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the bacon around it. So I tell you, probably in a boiling salted pot for about 8 or 9 minutes, I guess. I don't want to overcook it, because I got to put it in the oven next and give it a bit of a color. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have my toothpicks over here, and I'll take a few toothpicks here. And these are just to basically hold the bacon around the potato at the beginning, and then I'm going to use a little kind of fancier toothpick at the end of it. So what I recommend you do, let's see how this works. Here, cut one strip in half, take your potato and just wrap it. Hopefully we get to the point where it overlaps a little bit. Take your toothpick, put it through just like that, okay? Oops, it's opening up a little bit on me here. Okay, so there we go. Okay, you gotta make too many flavors, and what we're gonna wind up with is a not understanding of what it was we were trying to present at the beginning of everything. So let the bacon taste, but enhance the flavor of everything. So there we go. Got ourselves enough pieces there. I'm gonna catch the littlest bowl here. I'm just gonna give it a bit of a wide. Again, I'm into the cracked pepper thing today, so let's do the cracked pepper again. No, I'm gonna get a slightly larger bowl. Sorry about that. This one's a bit more shallow, so I can use it more easily. Okay, let's get that out of the way. I'll get another pan here. Okay, let's crack us a bit more of this peppercorns here. Okay, there we go. It's just that easy. Let's dry out our bowl. Let's put in our peppercorns. There we go. And of course, I think it's good that we add a bit of olive oil, because the olive oil will complement the flavor of the bacon. There we go. And I want to put just a little bit of dry basil. I want dry basil, not the fresh, because I'm a little worried that the fresh basil is going to burn a bit. A little bit of the no salt again. Okay, and then I'm going to take my bacon. I'm just going to toss it in there very carefully. Okay. There we go. There we go. And then once I kind of fry these up a little bit, I'm going to put them on a pan, get them ready for the oven. I'm not going to put them in the oven right away. I'm just going to get them ready for the oven. So I'm just going to put a bit of oil in this frying pan here, get it ready. Incredibly, insanely hot. We just want it hot. We're just trying to give it a bit of a searing flavor right now. That's all we're trying to do. Be very careful how you use it because I don't want it to pop open all over. Okay. And I'm going to put a little extra of the, okay. Tell you that I'm not going to cook it for long. I'm just trying to get a bit of a coating on it. So there's not any really fat much in this bacon, so you got to really be careful how fast you cook it and how long you cook it for. It will crisp up on you. And it is going in the oven. So the whole idea is just to get the flavor into it. So now I've got my flavor into it. I'm putting it into this pan here. I'm going to transfer this pan into the oven momentarily. Okay, we're going to make our sauce for our chicken wings first. So we got some chicken drumettes here. They are vegan. And it's basically a soy and potato starch filling with a bean curd wrap and this little bamboo tether to keep the proteins attached to it. That way it has something to stick to, otherwise you'd just be falling all over the place. So what I want to do, I'm going to heat up a pan here. I'm going to fry up the chicken wings, but what I want to do is I want to make a little sauce to dip the chicken wings into. So I'm just going to make a very simple traditional honey mustard. So again, Dijon mustard. I like the Dijon. I'm going to use this called amber honey today. I'm having a lot of fun with this amber honey because it's got a nice, rich flavor. Unlike the totally sweet honey, it's got a bit of a malty flavor to it, so I kind of like it. I don't want to make this a thin sauce, but I'm going to use it to coat the wings. So I'm just going to basically stir this up a little bit. Really simple stuff. Okay, now we're going to take our wings here and we're going to fry them in the pan. Once we get them out of the pan, all we're trying to do is put a bit of color on them, sear them a little bit. Warming them up a little bit, just warming them slightly. And we're going to toss them into our little mix here. Okay. Give them a good toss in there and put them back in the pan again. I find by warming them up slightly, they do receive the coating a bit better than being cold. So they should stick a little bit better in it. Be careful to spittle when you put them back in. There we go. Once we get these hot flavor in there as possible. There, look at that, eh? So we're going to turn it off now. And then we're going to put them back in the dip one more time. And then we're going to put them onto our pan alongside the potatoes. And then when we're ready, we're going to put them in the oven. We're not going to do it right away. The putting them in the oven part is just to kind of make sure the flavor is profoundly embedded into the chicken, the bacon chicken. And then we're going to keep our marinade left over, and we're going to use that for the, I'm going to do some nuggets in here. Then I'm going to do my calamari right afterwards. Another pan for my satay and my meatballs. I got a pot of water on here, and we're just going to blanch off some spinach and cheese ravioli, which we're going to use as a garnish for our meatballs. So I'm not trying to cook them too much. I'm really just trying to put a bit of color on it. My only intention here. Because it's vegetarian, it doesn't need much cooking. It's just basically the browning of it. So once you get them brown, they're pretty much ready to go. So we're just about done there. Okay, these guaranteed bacon nuggets are going to be hot now. And I'm going to put a bit more oil in here. They don't take much oil, all these things. We're adding oil because each item needs a different amount of oil. And I'm going to put the calamari in here next. With the calamari, recommend you put it in the pan, slightly defrosted. Because from frozen, of course, it's going to spittle all over you because of the ice on the calamari. Plus, if you can gently defrost it, you can pan fry it while not less than a minute. I'll start pulling them out before we burn them. And they do taste good. They got a wonderful texture, these guys. And they've just about got no fat. They definitely have no cholesterol. And they are vegan. So you get your whole world of benefit, and you get to have fun eating something that you always like. I think you'd be quite surprised at how well the flavor of the tzatziki goes with the vegan calamari. Oops, I lost one. Okay, so now I've got my chicken nuggets done. I've got my calamari done. I'm going to do my satay next. Again, the satay is just a quick pan fry. I don't need to add anything to it. When you get these from King's Vegetarian, they're basically already seasoned. You can see all the wonderful color on there. You don't have to do anything, just item. If you get something that's got a pre-flavor on it, be careful the order in which you cook everything, because you don't want to have everything tasting like your satay, which is exactly what would happen if you did the satay first. So you do have to keep in mind a few of these little details. So now we've got our satay, you can see here. We've got our calamari. We've definitely got our chicken nuggets. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to poach off my pasta. So, lift up the lid. My pasta doesn't need very much time at all. We're talking maybe 45 seconds. This is a fresh pasta available in pretty much every single deli you'll ever go to in any major grocery retailer. Get the fresh one. Much easier to use than the frozen. And it tastes a whole lot better because it's been made very recently. So what I want to do right now, I'm going to put them in a bowl in the meantime to let a bit of the water drain out. They don't take very long to cook when they're fresh. Maybe 2-3 minutes. And then we're going to crisp them up a little bit. So I'm just going to take this burner, take my water off at the moment. Okay. And then I'm going to put my tomato sauce back on. I'm going to warm up my tomato sauce because I do need my tomato sauce pretty quickly for another dish. So now I've got my pasta. Be careful of the spittle. See, I'm using a slotted spoon here. I don't want to burn my face here. Okay. Get myself a spoon here. And I'm going to put just a trace of salt. And just a trace of basil. Okay. Now I'm putting my meatballs in the other pan. I'm not adding any flavor to the meatballs. These meatballs have a terrific flavor already. Again, all these products are definitely available at King's Vegetarian Food Manufacturing. There are many of our locations or the restaurants. And you can see the wonderful products. You can just zoom in on here. I see pieces of peas, corn, carrot. That's a really nice one. So you're not just getting a piece of maybe what you think is soy. You're getting a high-end meatball that's full of fresh vegetables. Okay. So now you can see I've got meatballs, satay, I've got calamari, I've got my nuggets, and now I've got my pasta pretty much ready. See this wonderful golden brown texture I'm getting on the top of each one? That's just exactly what I want. But how I'm going to use it, I do need it to be a little bit rigid because I got to make it stand up. And I'm going to put a toothpick through it. So I do want a slight amount of texture here. And I always do a couple of extra than I need. I've only got about 7 meatballs and about 10 pasta because, well, if I make a mistake, I want to know that I don't have to go around and put more water on. I can actually just keep going with another ravioli. And then I took off earlier the pan with the chicken wings and the potato. Okay, so I'm just going to... Okay, so we had to pause there, run to the oven, and we had to get our stuff out of the oven here. So you can see here, what we did is we fetched our chicken drumettes. See that wonderful shine? They look so good. And the bacon wrapped potatoes look just amazing. That was about 8 minutes in the oven. So like I said, we fried this to warm it up. By frying it, by changing the texture, by frying, what it does is, like I said, it allows you to incorporate the marination into the chicken drumettes much easier than trying to put something in cold and having it roll off. And the bacon, we fried it to loosen it up here to make myself a bit of space, so you can see what I'm doing. So, I'm going to build us a great platter. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to build the hardest one first. My Chinese spoons. So, I like using Chinese spoons because it just looks nice and elegant with the color of the plate. So what I'm going to do, I've heated up my tomato sauce. This is on the website too, by the way. The recipe for the Italian tomato sauce. We've made it once already before. So I'm just taking a spoon. I'm putting about, well, I mean, you can see it's probably about, not quite a tablespoon, a little less. You only put so much in anyway due to the fact that the spoon still has to have space to put the meatball. This is going to be our twist on a nice fancy Italian meatball appetizer. Just to show you how easy things can be. So we need the moisture. So these are going with the meatballs that we didn't season. We didn't season it because we seasoned our sauce quite adequately already. And also the meatball itself has a very nice profile. So we didn't need to actually season every aspect of this dish. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our meatballs that we cooked already. And we're going to very gently place one in each spoon. Oh, doesn't that look good? And you can still see it's still appetizer size. It fits nicely within the spoon. So it's not like it's too big to eat. So you don't have to be worried about it being overwhelming. And now for the final part. We did our pasta if you recall. So what I've got on the side here are these frilly toothpicks. I want to use a frilly toothpicks because I want people to see that I've put a toothpick in there. But I don't want them to see how I got it. So what I've done is I've created, oh my goodness, I've made a bit of too much sauce on that one. So you can see it's very easy to put a bit too much sauce. So we've made a sailboat. It's our Italian meatball sailboat. Very enticing. Okay. Now I'm going to put my satays on there. These one I can use with my fingers because they got nice long skewers. These are about 25 grams each. So every single one of these things, except for the pasta one, are about under 30 grams. So we've budgeted at least 2 pieces per person. Even a little bit heavier. So not too heavy of a menu, but enough that everybody gets a good taste. And of course the perennial favorite, you can't get away without having chicken nuggets. These are our vegan nuggets here. And they are definitely a perennial favorite. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find a bit of color. And we're going to decorate up our plate a little bit. Again, this recipe in its entirety is on our website with a photograph. So every single thing you see, no problem, you can find it on there. And please feel free to change anything of your discretion if you want to play. You don't have to use honey mustard, you don't have to do tzatziki. There's so many things you can do that are not a requirement. It's what you like and what you think your guests will like. And that's what's important. So you might like to do a totally different set of sauces and a totally different presentation. And I'd like to also say that we've managed to make this entire appetizer menu without one deep fried item. So that's kind of nice. I mean, a little bit of pan searing, but you can see how much oil was left in the pan when we were done. So it's not like all the oil went into the food we cooked. The oil came out and it stayed in the pan. So it's not such a heavy oil. Just enough to coat. Now we're going back to our bacon wrapped potatoes. Again, I want to make it look nice. So, nice frilly toothpicks again. Finding room, of course, is a bit of a challenge. You can see I've left a giant hole in the middle of my platter. I've done that on purpose, because I do want to decorate it. Oops. Okay, I got one more to go here. And you can see it doesn't take long. This entire appetizer platter, I can tell you, has been completed in under 30 minutes. So I think everybody's got 30 minutes to do something with. So, I'm going to raid my stash here. I've got my nice orange. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my orange into a garnish. very simple. Offcuts. It's like a jigsaw. Just make sure that each cut aligns to the next cut. Go all the way around. Make sure the last cut comes back to the first cut. And what you're going to wind up with is something kind of nice. See, I'm on my last cut, how they join together. I didn't go too deep in. I pull it apart. There we go. I've got myself a nice decoration for my center plate. Now I just got to make sure I can fit it on there. So let's just remove something for a moment. This is the arrangement part of it. You got to have a decor. The food is amazing, but the decor must be equally amazing. Otherwise, people will not be ecstatic and taken aback by your decor. A little bit of green never hurts. There you go. Okay. Now, we have sauces to put on here still. So, if I was going to, because my space is a bit limited here, but we had made earlier honey mustard. So now, the honey mustard becomes our dip. Because it's vegetarian, there's actually no issue with doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bit of space away here, and I'm going to just show you how I would present it now. So my honey mustard was for my chicken wings. So I'm going to put it right there. Now I said I had my cilantro tamarind, which is just an amazingly nice sauce. Oh, this looks yummy, almost like a pudding from all the fresh herbs in there. It's so good. Look at that. Okay, now it's going to go with our chicken nuggets. Okay, that's that one. That's that one. Recall that we heated up some peanut sauce. Okay, we're going to put that in there now. I mean, I'm just showing you the sample one here, but definitely get yourself a larger sauce bowl. You have at least you have 60 or 90 mils of every sauce, so you can definitely not worry about running out of sauce. So I'll put that one there to go with my satay. And then earlier we made our tzatziki sauce, if you recall. There's our tzatziki sauce. So we don't need anything for the meatballs, of course, because that sauce is already in there. So now we've got our tzatziki sauce. Okay. Oh, that sits up really nice. See, it's just gelled right up. Beautiful. Okay, so again, we're done. We've got a wonderful, nice appetizer platter with at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items on there. Our Malaysian satay, our vegan nuggets, vegetarian bacon wrapped potatoes with the olive oil, basil, and the cracked pepper and the no salt. Our vegan calamari with the cornmeal breading. Our vegan chicken drumettes with the honey mustard glaze. Our vegetarian meatballs with the spinach and ricotta cheese pasta with Italian tomato sauce. And our dips again were our peanut sauce, our cilantro tamarind, our tzatziki sauce made with the Greek yogurt, which is gelatin free, and our fresh dill, fresh lemon, fresh cucumber, salt, cracked pepper, and again our honey mustard glaze. I think that's going to be a real crowd pleaser with just about anybody. Very easy to make, 30 minutes, it's on the website, and it's broken down in a way that you could take any single one of these recipes and break it out. You don't have to make all of them, it's not made like that. You will see all the nutritional values on all of our recipes, on every one of them. You will see the video exactly how we've done it here. And I thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to your feedback. Please just go to our website and let us know how we did and how you made it your own, how you owned it, and let us know. We'd be happy to respond to all feedback. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you at our next video. Have a great day.